Skylar Grey is one of the most prolific pop songwriters and collaborators of the 2000s and 2010s. If you aren't familiar with her name, you are certainly familiar with the songs she's written. One thing about Skylar Grey is that she can write a catchy hook, and her hooks usually have an emotional and dramatic touch to them. She has written songs such as Clarity by Zedd, Bed of Lies by Nicki Minaj, Coming Home by Diddy, as well as songs for Celine Dion and Kehlani. However, she's probably most known for her close collaborative work with rapper Eminem throughout the years, including one of the biggest hits of both Eminem and Rihanna's careers, Love the Way You Lie, which is a song that shattered records and tackled the raw and complex realities of abusive relationships. The song also received a sequel titled Love the Way You Lie Part 2, which was included on Rihanna's bombastic 2010 release, Loud. It's a song that was totally inescapable during its run. It spent 7 weeks atop the Billboard Hot 100, it eventually went diamond, and has billions of views and streams. And while the song has personal ties to Rihanna and Eminem, the song was also birthed out of a dark period for Skylar Grey, but maybe not in the only way you'd expect. Prior to her success as a songwriter, she had a lot of trouble navigating the music industry, which resulted in a name change and failed project. In fact, she wrote Love the Way You Lie while she was broke. She revealed a bit about her come up in an interview, going on to say, "The song itself was very personal. I never had written a track before. I was the kid sent me this track, and I just sang whatever I felt over it, you know? It was a very personal lyric based on my experience, not only with my ex-boyfriend, but the music industry. Feeling like there was something in me that loved to be tortured and loved the misery, because I kept getting sucked back into situations. That's what Love the Way You Lie was about." Then a month later, it was the #1 song. Eminem had cut it, Rihanna had cut it. I was broke living in a cabin in the woods, and this was all happening, and suddenly I had the biggest song in the world as a songwriter. Needless to say, once she broke through, everyone wanted a piece of her, which resulted in her taking an unexpected detour into hip-hop. While my phone was ringing off the hook, everybody wanted their Love the Way You Lie. I had a ton of different artists reaching out, labels wanting to get songs for their artists. I always set out to be an artist, I never set out to be a songwriter for other people. But when I realized I needed to make a living in this music game, I opened my mind to getting other people's songs. And it worked. I started answering these phone calls, and it felt like commissioned artwork. I did some stuff for Dr. Dre and Puff Daddy and Lupe Fiasco, mostly hip hop, she said. She met Eminem after the success of Love the Way You Lie, and she's remained a close working partner for him throughout the years, on various of his albums, and also co-writing on the Eminem and Beyonce track, Walk on Water. Despite having to struggle to even gain recognition in the industry, it'd be nice to say that Skylar has now had a storybook ending as it pertains to her songwriting and ownership, but unfortunately that's not the case. Skylar Grey had to sell the rights to her music catalog in order to be able to afford her divorce. She was involved in a tumultuous relationship with her ex-husband, and in 2017, she was granted a restraining order against him. Since 2017, I was going through a divorce and lawsuit that was just wrecking me emotionally and financially, Grey told Variety. Obviously, giving up her songs was no easy choice, and it's something that saddened her, especially considering the majority of what she got paid for her catalog went to taxes and her ex-husband. It's like your life's work, and then suddenly it's like, okay, I've got to give the majority of this away, but that was my only option, she said. Luckily, I had the option of doing something like that. Otherwise, I may not have gotten out of the case. She had to sacrifice her life's work to be able to gain peace of mind, which is an unfortunate choice to have to make. So when her songs are used in movies or in advertising, she gets absolutely nothing. But on the bright side, she has taken a positive attitude towards the situation and is set to re-record a lot of her major hits as a songwriter into one big greatest hits album. So if you guys would like to support her, you could redirect some time towards her re-releases. She recently released Love the Way You Lie Part 3, which is a pretty faithful rendition of the version of the Part 2 Rihanna release. Ownership in the music industry is important, especially as a songwriter, and it's unfortunate that someone who has achieved her success was caught in such a hard place.